again, there's that, yeah, okay. Call the meeting of the DuPage County Development Committee of March 4th to order. Quorum of members is physically present. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to permit those members not physically present, rather due to personal illness or disability, employment, or business of the board, family or other emergency or unexpected child care obligations to participate by video conference. Do we have a motion to allow members?
Second.
Okay, motion for second. Member Over, welcome. All those in favor?
Thank you.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, roll call, please.
Member Krajewski. Member Rutledge.
Here.
Member Colbert.
Here.
Member Ozog. Here. Vice Chair Yu.
Here.
Chair Tornatori.
Here, we have a quorum. We have no public comment. I have nothing under chair remarks. Moving on to approval of the minutes, I'll entertain a motion to
So
approve the
moved.
minutes of February 18th, 2025. Is there a second? Motion second. Any additions, corrections, or deletions? Hearing none, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to regulatory services, I'll entertain a motion to approve DCO 11-25, zoning 2477. Chimaya, the zoning board of appeals recommendation to approve a conditional use for planned development in the R4 zoning district, 10 detached and 61 attached dwelling units, 14,172 square foot divisible shopping center, 2 place of assembly buildings that will total approximately 54,963 square feet to be used for religious services, study, and education, and to increase the height from 36 feet to approximately 40 feet. CBA voted to approve this 6-0. There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? Member you. Vice Chair you.
Thank you, Chair Tornatori. I had a question with regard to the Forest Preserve did have some concerns or objections, and one of them had to do with native plants and that and I think one of the conditions was that a landscape plan would be submitted along with the building permit. And I'm just wondering if the landscape plan, which is supposed to show full landscape screens around the perimeter, would also include the inclusion of those native those native trees that the Forest Preserve specifically outlined. Could that be something that we could do?
So the county has, in their point system for the type of vegetation that could be planted, a combination of native vegetation that has to be planted along with other types of species. They have specific species that cannot be planted. I talked to the petitioner's attorney, and making all of that western full landscape screen adjacent to the Forest Preserve, all native vegetation, is not a problem as an amended condition for the petitioner. So we could amend that to make everything on the west side adjacent to the Forest Preserve exclusively native vegetation. That would have to be an amendment to what you have before you right now.
Okay, well, this is the Forest Reserve's recommendation and one committee member's suggestion. Is this the will of the committee at this point to make that amendment?
I could motion for that, yes.
Second.
Okay. So there's a motion to amend the petition to allow for the native vegetation as described by Paul. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the amendment passes.
Chairman, just to be clear, that would be native vegetation only on the west perimeter adjacent to the Forest Preserve. Is that correct?
That is, what was your description? And yes.
But it sounded like.
Thank you.
So, moving on, then we will.
Sam, would you mind, or may I?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And I had the same comment as you did, member you, but just to comment again, this was the first time I'd ever noticed the dark skies resolution as part of this packet. So I just want to give you guys a heads, or not heads up, but a kudos for including that. I'm happy to see that included. And again, I fully support member Yu's comment about the native plantings. I wouldn't mind seeing native plantings everywhere, but.
And to be clear, on the dark skies, we've done this in the past for other zoning cases. They just never came to fruition. They never developed. But what we have done here specifically, so we've included this as an appendix exhibit to the actual approved, if it gets approved, the approved ordinance. So it's part of the approved ordinance.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Any other questions on the amendment or the underlying Motion, okay. At this point, I'll entertain a motion to approve DCO 11-25 zoning 2477 as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions on the ordinance as amended? None, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the ordinance is approved. Moving on to item 6B, I'll entertain a motion to approve DCO 12-25 zoning 2485. A zoning hearing officer's recommendation to approve a conditional use to reduce the interior side setback for an existing shed from 3 feet, 2 feet, where it has existed for at least 5 years.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'll entertain a motion to approve DCO 13-25 zoning 2486. Spearman variation to reduce the rear yard setback from 25 feet to approximately 8 feet for new addition. And a variation to reduce the rear yard setback 3 feet to approximately 1.5 feet for a new patio.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments on this matter? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any? Motion carried. Finally, I'll entertain a motion to approve 25-0544, a recommendation for an approval for a contract purchase to Harris Government for annual software maintenance and support services as needed for the period of April 1, 2025 through December 31, 2025. Contract total amount not to exceed $15,891.75. Building and zoning $8,829. DOT $5,297.25. Public Works $1,765.50.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions, comments on this? We've seen it before. Vice Chair, you.
Thank you. I actually had a question for Jim. It's my understanding that the PRCC mentioned that this is an older system and that we continue to maintain it and use it for, historical or older documents, and that there's a new system, permitting system. So I'm just wondering if IT has ever been approached to actually maintain and work on this system as opposed to us continuing to pay for this one little thing every year.
They have.
Oh,
We've had conversations with them. They have someone down there now who can work in the SQL server. So we're going to be hopefully working with them this year to come up with a way to no longer have to do this. We own the database. We just don't own the software to use it. So we have to continue to pay maintenance so we can get that sorted out on our end.
oh, I see. Okay, but eventually this may go away.
That's our plan.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other question? You have a question?
I do not.
Comment? Okay.
Thank you for including me in your wonderful meeting.
Always. Okay, we have a motion. Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Do we have any old business? Do we have any new business? Seeing none, hearing none, without objection, we're adjourned.
Keep that pressure on, Jim. Keep it on.
We'd like